First of all, welcome to DaBelly. Good chance to talk to you today, Paul, and it's exciting. Paul here is from Dead Original, band out of Chicago. They got a new record coming out called Dead Original, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about it today. Welcome. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. It's a little cold here in Phoenix, but we're surviving. So your new record, tell us a little bit about the album itself, putting it together and so on.
It's a 13-song CD, 14 tracks total, but it's because there's an intro track for the last song. It's called Bought and Sold, and it's self-produced by us. I recorded at my studio, the Music Garage, Chicago. Now I'm at a new studio called Gremlin Studios. I'm freelancing over there. We're just really excited about it. It's simple rock. It's less is more. It's just the instruments. There's no extra production involved with it. It's literally drums, bass, guitar, and vocals, so.
That's exciting to hear. You're making a great point in that music doesn't have to be overly complicated to be good. And I really enjoy the songs. For instance, Let It Burn is, I believe, the latest single you got out right now. Song sounds great. Yeah, talk a little bit about that, putting that song together.
I actually wrote that riff while I was tracking our last song on the CD, Circles. So kind of had an ADD moment, but I knew when I played the riff, because it's all the music's simple, it's less is more, it's repetitive. Some of my favorite rock bands always kind of did that. And Let It Burn is about embracing your problem. So, if there's something in life that's kind of bothering you, it's the idea that you're kind of stuck with it. You have no choice, so you just have to just go with the flow and let it burn. So yeah, dude, it's a simple rock song. And in a way, it could be about dealing with depression, which most of the album is centered around that. Again, I wrote all the lyrics, so I don't think I'm depressed, but I don't know.
Hey, you're an artist. Come on, it happens.
Yeah.
That's where the passion comes from for a lot of music, as you know. It's you dig from within, and if there's something nagging at your soul, you have a strong feeling toward it, a real passion toward it, and often that makes a great song.
I mean, that's what it is for me with this project. It's like I'm just trying to be as honest as I can be. I've worked for people, and I've got another original project that's totally different. It's like this, contemporary metal style, whereas that original is like, this is me as who I am as a person, and it's not lyrics about like girls and drinking. It's it's like,
right.
If you're someone that has problems or something, it's I think you can relate to it. And like, one of my favorite bands was or two bands is Alice in Chains and Nirvana. I really related to those bands because I think they did that, and sometimes the lyrics don't really say that, but you can feel it. That was the goal for this album.
That feeling you're mentioning is kind of, it's an honesty that resonates in the music itself, and it's a very important part of music that often can be lost in a studio that sterilizes the songs and so on and so forth. But if you just play them, just let them be the songs, sometimes that honesty rings so true, and it just connects with the fan.
I totally agree. And part of that, man, I'll be honest with you, this is the reason why we produce it ourselves. Obviously, you save a lot of money when you record at your own studio, but I've had mixing, obviously this got done, it was mastered by somebody. I just needed that extra finish, but in other projects I've been involved with, nowadays people are so used to fixing things.
Yeah.
So actually one of the songs on the album, Restrained, this mix engineer sent me back the stuff, and he put my vocals to a time grid. Like, it was perfect. I didn't know what the problem was. I just emailed them back, said, hey, man, it's starting to sound good, but like the feeling and the vibe's gone.
Yeah.
And then I noticed on the last chorus, like I came in originally when I recorded it, I came in a little bit later than I was supposed to, but I liked the feeling of that.
Yep.
I messaged him. I said, wait a minute, did you like time align my vocals and then like copy and paste all the choruses? And he's like, yeah, I do that all the time. Oh, dude, like that's a problem, man. Number one, it's already a simple song, so if you're gonna copy and paste the choruses, that sucks. It's like I'd rather keep all the separate takes so there's something slightly different. Yep. And on top of that, he time aligned the vocals. So long story short, I think that's what's happening with today's music. That's why the vibe is kind of disappearing. It's like that's it. Like the guy didn't even blink about it. He just did it. He wasn't even thinking about the feeling of the music or anything. He's like, oh, the vocals are not perfect. I'm going to just quantize them. It's like, what? I think, in my opinion, I think vocals can float. Like the drums got to be really good, but the vocals can, that's what gives it the vibe,
Yes, music should not be robotic.
Yeah. I mean, if you want that, listen to pop music,
Well, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of truth right there. Sure. You've done a lot of things in your career. You've been the drummer for Trivium and so on and so forth. My question is, talk a little bit about stepping from behind the drum kit, getting up in front and actually being a front man for a band. It's got to be dramatically different. Talk a little bit about that.
I like it a lot more. I feel like when you're the drummer, there's a lot more responsibility. Yeah. Relating back to that floating mentality, like I like it's more expressive. I feel like it's breathing compared to playing the drums. Like there's a lot of pressure. If you take yourself seriously,
Well, that's true. Yes.
If like I did Rock of Ages and people were fired if they had more than 2 mistakes a night. It's like there's that high pressure. I had to play everything perfect to the T every night. So I was kind of used to that. So now when I sing and I play guitar and Dead Original, it's just, to me, it's very relaxing. It's like breathing, and I enjoy it more,
Well, the songs, you keep talking about the flow. Often in the studio, the flow it's more regulated, but obviously the live performance and getting out front and, very much so that the front man is often the cherry on top. He's the guy that just sort of makes everything work, and having that charisma and that vibe with the audience is very, very important. Can you talk a little bit about that? Just reaching out into the audience and being a part of that.
I really dig it, and I agree with that. I think, that is a responsibility too, and a huge factor to make it a good show. Yeah. But I feel like for me, that's really easy, and it's fun. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
it does. Yeah. You're dead on to it. It's really good.
It's because our music's simple. We don't, I don't. Right now, we're such a small band. I don't ever foresee us. Basically, we're simple, right? We don't really plan on having pyrotechnics or just a 3-piece rock band. You know what I mean? So
you're not gonna have like the giant robotic dragon or something laser show or.
It's not a Kiss show or Guns N' Roses. It's more like old school rock.
There you go. Seat of the pants, rock and roll, and then all that feel. It's all great. I really love it. So, are there any thoughts of taking this out and doing some shows in 21?
We're working on it. Like everything keeps getting pushed back. We had a couple shows January 9th and 10th, Kansas and Oklahoma City, and then got pushed to May. It's really challenging right now, man, with the COVID stuff. So,
Oh, this is so hard for bands and for really the industry as a whole. Record companies are a little more stable, the larger ones anyway, but the bands, the venues, the bartenders, the bouncers, everyone's struggling with it. It's unfortunate, but we're going to make it through this.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of the attitude to have. And if you're curious, we just want this album out, whether or not we're going to be touring on it, because anyone that's getting into it or they really want to hear more, I feel like it'd be nice to just have it, and then we could work on album 2. You know, hopefully by then there'll be tours. Tours are back. You know, before the pandemic, we toured with Candlebox, and it was looking to be a really good year before everything shut down in March. So it was kind of sucked.
Yeah, for those at home that didn't catch what was happening, they immediately rescheduled all the dates into October, November, which sounded great. Fine, we can take 6 months off, no big deal. But soon they realized that those dates were optimistic, and now they've recanceled and decided not to book until whenever.
Right, exactly. We're all just kind of waiting, you know.
Well, we deal with it. It's all good. You've got a couple other singles off of this. Restrained was the first one that came out, and then of course it was Bought and Sold was the second single. Talk a little bit about putting the music together and doing the videos itself. Just tell us about the videos.
Well, because of the pandemic and stuff, we just decided to keep it simple, kind of like with the music itself. We shot 8 songs at the same location, so they're just basically like playthroughs. Something to give people imagery of, you know, that we're just less is more. We're just dudes playing our instruments. So they're not like high budget videos by any means, but I think they work because they're kind of cool because it makes the music come to life, in my opinion. Because you see who's in the band and everything. As far as writing process, I've literally archived riffs and melodies on my iPhone over the years, just from gigging. Anytime I get a melody, it'll just like a melody will just like pop in my head whenever I'm like inspired, and it's totally random. Like the bridge, little guitar solo, instrumental, and Restrained that was actually written on piano, and I just transferred over. So it's just been a kind of a conglomerate of ideas from over the years.
Yeah.
So I'm always, you know, whenever I get inspired, I just put on the iPhone. I'll literally hum a melody to my phone, and then later it'll become a song. So
now with all this time we've had in 2020, an opportunity to just sit down and take that collection of inspiration and make it into something more marketable, if you will. And you've done that. Yeah. Are you already looking at the next album? Are you one of those people that constantly write? Or are you going to let this one settle and work on it?
I am. Well, we're always writing, recording. Just there's no plans for album 2 at all. But to be honest with you, I've really been studying audio production. So I'm really excited about that because all this downtime for not playing shows, I've been putting about 10 hours a day in learning how to do it right, you know. So
A good thing.
That because it's, you know, it adds up when you go to a real studio and have someone else engineer for you, and when you could do it yourself, you know, it's just yeah.
Well, also to have that knowledge base to understand exactly how to achieve whatever it is that you're trying to do, irrespective of working with other people. But yeah.
Ultimately, this relates to like that guy that quantized my vocals. I don't want that. I want to have full control, and part of that I think is if you know how to record professionally, I think that's a step above for being creating the music that you want to create. You know, I feel like you know, it's 2020. Like if you don't want to do this, if you're an independent artist, there should be no excuse. You're just lazy for not learning how to do this on your own.
Yep, totally get it. Well, that's all I got today. Is there anything I missed?
People can grab a physical CD now.
Right.
Just off our website, deadoriginal.com.
Perfect.
And it'll be digitally released January 8th. So
on, I think it's INgroove. Is that the
Yeah.
record? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate your time. Again, Paul Wandtke from Dead Original.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right. You have a good day.